Unlocking cross-border capital, national angels, co-investment schemes should scale up at pan-European level.
Welcome from my side. I have a privilege to run, I would say, from the last 2 days, the largest and most crowded panel. As you can see, it's twice as big as the previous one. So you see, I need big support to unlock cross-border capital. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. Welcome, my panelists. You are very well prepared. Oh, I missed one chair. Thanks so much. So as you see, the panel is twice as big, but I have only 45 minutes. So it's the same timing, but we need to cover a very detailed topic. So with this, maybe I will frame the session. We would like to cover on this session what we have today, so success story, also to touch what is missing according to us, whether we need a big co-investment angel fund in Europe to scale, to make more cross-border deals that we inside ESIL and also Business Angels Europe, we are fighting for this and trying to, push that concept for many, many years. Hopefully, we are soon will make it. So that's also the objective. Also, to learn from my panelists also what's working well, what are the gaps, what we are missing. But also to touch the topic of how today the European instruments and also national instruments can work together to complement each other and also reinforce each other. And with this, I would do my best to make a wrap-up. But as Reginald, even I will try with this 45 minutes to leave the floor for you guys to have 2-3 questions. And then I will hand over to Luigi, who will tell us more what's ESIL next, what's next on our project, and what we can, supposed to have in ahead of us. So with this, I would like to make a short intro on my panelists. Maybe I will start from the left side. Piotr, if you can introduce yourself, and we can fast round on the intro, and then we will jump to the panel.
Piotr Kędra, I'm a fund manager of 2 fund of funds, altogether with market cap of roughly 250 million. Both of them primarily meant for co-investments, one specifically meant for co-investments with business angels.
Thank you.
Claire Monk, I manage 3 strands of activities, an angel group, angel syndicates, around 40 angel syndicates under management today in Belgium and Luxembourg, and then a post-business angel pre-venture capital fund, pre-Series A, going on our 3rd vintage now with about 35 million under management.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Christian de Barrier. I'm in charge of European affairs at Bpifrance. Bpifrance, apart from being a proud and happy partner of ESIL, is a French state company acting as export credit agency, investor, innovation agency, and development bank, more broadly. That's our...
Thank you, Christian. Leopold?
Léopold Colson, investment manager at Wallonia Entreprendre. Wallonia Entreprendre is the public investor in Wallonia. It's a 6 billion investment fund. We have also other activities, but I want to go into too much detail. And as investment manager, I invest directly into deep tech startups. And we also have a strategy of fund that we use to bring more fund into Wallonia.
Sara D'Agostini, policy officer at DG Regio, specifically looking after equity financial instrument in DG Regio. With our funds, we support, specifically encourage member states to use and set up equity instrument to support innovative startup, to support innovation. Basically, almost all member states with our fund support innovation and also are trying to design and implement VC funds.
Thank you. And Milan?
I'm Milan Ivanov. I'm a co-founder and chairman of Bulgarian Angels Club. That's the biggest angel network in Bulgaria. And I'm also fund manager of Sophia Angels Ventures. This is a co-investment fund that is backed up by EIF to co-invest with angels across Europe. We've invested our first fund, and now we are raising a second one, hopefully to be live and kicking in 12 months or so.
Good luck. Thank you. So I would start maybe with the first question, and the question will go to Claire. I would like to ask you first, start to make a your comments about the co-investment model in Belgium, BE Angels, and also your scale-up funds. If you can share with us the model, how it's because it's working super well locally, and what first of all how it is working, and also according to you, what are today the gaps to scale this on a more pan-European scale?
Sure.
Thank you.
So thank you. So I think the history is important. So BE Angels is an angel group that started about 25 years ago, right? I took over the management about 12 years ago already. And so obviously it's a network that has grown with the market. And in 2017, I think, even before 2015, 2016, I started looking around at European level or internationally as well, what was working in terms of co-investment funds with angel groups. It was really important, one, to fill the gap in terms of funding post-business angels. Because we could see that there were a number of companies that were performing really well, but that were not yet VC ready, that didn't reach, the expectations of the venture capital funds, which is still the case today. And I think that gap has actually widened. But that's why we created, I launched a pilot fund, 2.5 million in 2017, then a second fund of 10 million in 2019. And this is our third vintage, where we are about to close about 18 million in 2 weeks, our second closing, and in which Wallonie Entreprendre is an LP. We have always had public-private partnerships actually at the level of the fund. So I think that's really important, especially in the first phases, because it was a new strand of activity for us as an angel group. We needed to have the confidence of a few angels, believers, but also, of public funds that wanted to use the leverage of angels investing directly, but also following up on their investments or investing in the fund to make sure that we had enough support for the companies, the innovative companies in the different territories. So this public-private partnership was really important. In our third fund, interestingly, 85% of the monies is actually private. So we have much more of a private support, mostly from cashed-out entrepreneurs from across Belgium, Luxembourg, and France, which is also something new, which would not have been the case when we set up the first fund. I mean, this ecosystem is really changing. It's a new generation of cashed-out entrepreneurs for whom it is absolutely natural to do venture capital investing or angel investing. So that has been super helpful. I think in terms of maybe challenges, I don't want to be too long. I think obviously setting up funds that are not 50 million or 100 million euro funds is hard locally, because it's just it's still a small size. We cannot be sector specific, especially we invest in Belgium, France, let's say Benelux. We cannot be sector specific just because the deal flow is not yet there. So we have to be a bit, or we invest in deep tech, clean tech, and digital transformation, but which is quite broad to invest in around 15 to 20 companies. So obviously, to have some scale is we need public-private partnerships absolutely to help us leverage and get to a size where we can actually deliver. And then probably move to the next phase. And I think, also after us, so we did a few exits with some portfolio companies in our previous portfolio, some Series A. We did 4 Series A in the last 12 months for some of our portfolio companies. We need better networks between funds at European level, but obviously, and that will be the discussion, a pan-European fund to help us scale and, save time. And when we really want to accelerate companies is going to be of paramount importance. And maybe last point, but BE Angels and Scale so we have I have a separate team working on Scale. It has its separate board, its separate shareholders, separate, I would say investment decisions. So it could invest in companies that are funded by BE Angels or not at all. So we have privileged relationships and deal flow, but no automatic decision-making and no obligation to invest in companies previously supported.
Thank you so much. It's a cross-border panel, so we will jump from Belgium to Sofia, Milan, to you. What's working in Bulgaria? And if you can share any advice how we can facilitate more cross-border deals. But I would be grateful if you can cover what's happening in Bulgaria. You need you have. Yeah.
I can tell you for what is not working. Actually, we tried it a few times. just referring deals for the sake of doing so. I've been to 7 or 8 conferences talking about it, and we have identified the problems, but we have not just came across the right solution. So just referring a deal from a brother network, it doesn't work. I mean, no, there's nothing to follow up. And what we realize that although we want to be pan-European, the angels are quite local. Maybe they're even more parochial. And at the end of the day, it takes some leadership for them to become more confident and to see what's going on. What I'm referring to is that what we see that is working is when you have a confident dealer, a deal lead, someone that is competent and know what he's talking about. It is someone that they know from before, not came from abroad just for the tour. This is something that we try to do with identifying, let's say, expats that live in France or Germany that come and they can refer that, but it's not an easy task. But it's something that we are trying, and we wanna enhance the opportunity scope of for our angels, because Bulgaria is a pretty nice country, but it's kind of small in terms of pipeline, and we want to give them more opportunities by connecting to other networks and just showing them good deals that are backed up by a confident leader that have skin in the game, not just referring a portfolio that needs backup, because it's not natural for them to expect Bulgaria to be their next big market.
Thank you. And now I would jump also to maybe to Piotr. Piotr, you have a huge experience in dealing with co-investment funds, and also you're representing the largest by far fund of funds within Central and Eastern Europe, PFR Ventures. If you can share with us your thoughts on this, and also any advice how we can scale this on a European level, and whether we need that.
Yeah, I think this is quite local and depends on the level of market development. The way we designed our program for business angels 8 years ago was we did it with a slightly different thought. We thought that this is sort of transitionary form. We didn't think about business angels and trying to help them to continue to be business angels and develop as business angels, but we rather thought that this is a step to help to convert these business angels into LPs, into commitment funds. So that was the main thought at that time. On the other hand, in a way, similar logic applied to fund managers, because we thought, how to launch the program and to ensure that somebody will do all this, this burdensome work, that you have to do in a transaction. And we decided that instead of relying on business angels who enjoy freedom, as you heard, in previous panels, business angels are not necessarily interested in all the detailed work that needs to be done, documentation, stuff like this, KYC. We decided to do this differently. So we said, we have to bet on GPs, very small management teams, and we decided that that our co-investment program has to be GP led, with us being core investor, and with GPs inviting business angels to the transactions. What is interesting that after all these 8 years of the program functioning, out of 9 active fund managers, more than half of them was converted into regular commitment GPs, which I believe now is a huge success. What is also interesting is that their core investors were their business angels that they invested with in the co-investment fund. So that was our model. Right now we're in quite an interesting situation, because on one hand the market reached the stage when it's more developed, and more or less we see what we see in other markets. So we see some occasional angels investing, not necessarily, occasionally. So they do not see this as their main activity. We also see some business angels who are sort of in transition. So they're already investing quite heavily, but still cannot make up their mind whether they like being the business agents or they would rather convert to a fund manager. And some of them are already raising their first fund. And we also see some what we call super angels or archangels. So people who enjoy the fact that what they do. And I believe that these people have the biggest potential of doing cross-border transactions because they already have enough experience. And I believe that when drafting preparing a program, probably we should prepare it with this category in mind. At least, that's my view.
And from your experience, is there a need for something bigger on a pan-European level, some financial instruments?
Well, you heard that before. It really depends. I believe in most of the cases, the business angels enjoy investing into business where they can read entrepreneurs. And the question is, how experienced are you, with businesses, international environment, to be able to read people properly? And in most of the cases, at least with my discussions with business angels, they prefer to invest locally, or they invest in international businesses, but only when they believe that they have the right judgment on people. And they do not have this judgment, then even if you provide additional incentives, people would usually stay away from that. And it doesn't matter that that they understand the sector well. This is all about understanding what's the motivation of the founder, and whether do you share the same values, and can you read this person properly. So I think yes, for some for certain category of business angels, indeed that's the way. But majority of business angels, at least the ones that I had experience with, would prefer to invest locally. But what is important is that I believe that this international cooperation, this is huge benefit, for the local ecosystem, and also to ensuring that the local ecosystem is plugged into the European one. So I think selectively it makes sense. That this is not a solution for everybody, for every business angel.
Once we touched the investment topic, I would like to smoothly switch to Leopold, because you are active investor, also investing locally, like you are LP in one of the Claire's funds, and also I know that you have experience in more cross-border, larger funds. If you can share those experience, and also the comment as the panelists before, also about the need from your investment perspective on such a bigger instrument, and what's your thought on that?
Maybe a strategy of fund is really to attract investor into Wallonia. So we know that especially in deep tech, we need deep pocket. You need a lot of money, and to follow on all the stages and the maturity of a startup, you need to always be able to follow on. We also know that right now the size of the seed, pre-seed, Series A, and etc., it's evolving. A Series A from 10 years ago is not the same as today. It has double or even tripled the size. So it's always more difficult for business angels to follow on, to be part of this financing round. And our goal is always to support and to attract them, to attract this money, to attract this talent, this knowledge as well, because we believe that a business angel have a special knowledge, special tools that they can use. In the last panel, we have a scientist, physical. So that's something that we always look for. When we invest in a fund outside Wallonia, we always look what they can return in Wallonia. And also, we want startup in Wallonia to expand. Wallonia, it's a small region, and often startups need, in order to grow, they need to go abroad. They need to, and it's not easy in Europe to go abroad. It's not it's a common market, but it has a lot of fragmented. Yes. So we also view that on the tools to scale. geographically.
Thank you. Christian, BPI has a huge experience on this. You are active on many fields. What's your take on this?
I think I'm quite aligned with the previous speeches from colleagues. To explain in short what we do in France with business angels, there are several things we do. The first one is that, as with our innovation agency HAT, we are a de-risking entity that supports before private investment companies through grants and other instruments, and we have specific instruments that require private investment, often from business angels. One is a seed investment loan, and the other is a convertible bond program called the French Tech Seed. And each time it is required to have a private investor, and this private investor is often a business angel in France. It works, from my perspective, quite well. I checked the figures, and one startup out of 3 that we support has been supported by business angel alongside us or before, so it's quite significant. And we are willing to increase the number of companies of that type. It's a key objective we have. So we count a lot on further developing the cooperation with French BAs. The second element we have is that we have, through Gilles' team in Euroequity department, a commitment to support cross-border investment in Europe, because it's a bit it's not trivial for a national state entity to have something, a service operating pan-European wide, Europe-wide, and in the same terms for French and foreign companies. And this, I think, this is the sign that we are firmly convinced of the interest of developing cross-border investment across Europe to fight against fragmentation of the market and so on. So it's mutually beneficial, and we are operating the platform through bilateral cooperation, notably with Wallonia Entreprendre. We are very happy with this, and also through EU funded projects like ESIL. As you know, there is a layer of online services plus a layer of events, either in France or cross-border, and that's for me a key element for improving the deal flow, the cross-border deal flow for BAs and other investors. BAs represent, I think, 20% of the 2,000 investors on the platform, so it's a huge asset we have there. And yes, that's I think the 2 main elements. I will end with the co-investment, pure co-investment dimension. By now we are co-investing in equity in France, domestically in funds with other LPs, like you probably, Paripas with private investors, and also we are a direct investor in companies. We, in general, when we are a direct investor, come after in the later rounds than the business angels. I think that's the standard situation. So yeah, that's another form of cooperation where we come after them as an investor.
Yes, thank you so much. So we cover this, what is working well on the local grants. Also, we touch the financing, but as mentioned before, I would like to also get into the topics of the national instruments and also how they can cooperate. And having Sarah, you with us, you are expert in equity financing and the grants as well. I would like to ask you because now we are talking about the pan-European instrument, mostly equity. I would be curious also about your view, whether only equity financing is enough, or in order to make that happen we need to combine, make a combo between equity and the grants. What's your view? And also, I would be grateful if you can share also more the DG Regio vision on the soon perspective with this topic that we are touching about pan-European funds.
Sure. So first of all, DG Regio, just quickly to introduce, because everyone here, the audience is used to EIC.
Yeah.
Which is direct management, directly managed by the Commission at the level of DG Regio for the regional funds. the management is shared in Commission and the member states. Basically, actually, the responsibility overall lies on the member states. So they are deciding how much and to invest where. Of course, there is negotiation, there is discussion. So the Commission, we try to redirect them, of course, to the right political priority to the specific. But unfortunately, there is a strong national dimension because they are the one deciding and implementing. Now, what has been working very, very well with our fund, specifically our main fund is the European Regional Development Fund, which of course try to promote overall the regional cohesion. So they try to ensure that also the less developed region with equity instrument, financial instrument, also grants, they can reach a development that is similar to the one that are more developed, so to create a kind of cohesion. And how they do that? So the member state can decide to have subsidies, or they can decide to have financial instrument, specifically equity. This is what we are recently trying to promote, encourage very, very strongly with the member states, because to benefit, of course, of the political momentum, where, I mean, equity and development of the equity market, support of innovative startups, close the innovation gap is really crucial. So we have several schemes that are dedicated to equity instrument, and some even like in Poland dedicated specifically for business angels. And some that are very successful, like in some member states, in Sweden, for example, in Berlin, also Germany. We had Greece, Romania, Bulgaria. Now they are also going into this market. And some are pure equity. Some other are also trying to introduce subsidy. Why? We have also recently, specifically in DG Regions, in my unit, we have launched a model to support and encourage the authorities to develop equity combined with grants. Why? We think that grants is also important to support research, to create the pipeline of projects. Like recently, also yesterday, there was all this business mentoring that is needed for the researchers. This grant of our model can really be used by the managing authority and be paid directly to the entrepreneurs. So they can really pay people who can help them support the research and bring them to the market. So that there is the equity and part that will come after for the pipeline of projects that are potentially good projects. Then the authorities can decide to also provide equity instruments. So like we see anywhere, in this role, there can be also business angel support, because business angels can co-invest either in one dedicated scheme like in Poland, where they have specifically, or at the level also of the deal by deal. Sometimes in some member states, we have some deals, equity, for example, in Berlin, I know that they have syndicated business angels that create these public resources, putting them together with the public resources. And this is also a big advantages for the authorities. That's why we are trying really to push, because it creates a big leverage. So the pot of money that is available for the market is much bigger. Last year, with last programming period, we create 3.8 of leverage with using financial instrument, not only equity, but overall. So indeed, we feel that this works very, very well. Could be expanded. So we are trying to promote, especially with this specific model of grant and subsidy. So we really are trying to push the authorities to give more opportunities to the market, and also including business angels, because they can co-invest at this site. So that was overall. And as I said, there is the cross-border dimension is not present at the moment, because it's very nationally. All the national schemes, and also discussing yesterday with university, academia people, and also business people, everyone tends to look a little bit in his own country. But we have also discussing when preparing this model, specifically with VC, they were saying for us it's very limited to have only one member state or one region to invest. So this is surely this cross-border is, we see that also to beat against the fragmentation of the market is a new dimension to explore and see the feasibility of creating or enlarging this mindset. Not always easy, because it will be probably challenging at the level of political decision, because we need to convince the politician that this works well. But with this, just to conclude, I like a lot what he said about the fact that they invest not necessarily in the region, but there is a return in the region, and also that they want to go, maybe the startup need to expand, to go somewhere else and come back to the region and reach to develop further the ecosystem.
Yes, thank you so much. So it was, thank you for this round as well. Now I would like to also, having this big wisdom and experience on the angel co-investment, I would like to also maybe now ask from your experience, what we could do better or how to facilitate more cross-border deals. I know we are talking about the fund that pan-European that can help. It will definitely help. It's a leverage, but on top of the fund, what could be done better to make much more, capital mobilization across the Europe, and also to make more syndication between the angel club. Who wants to take that first?
Well, our experience with angel organizations is a mixed one. And the reason is that there were different initiatives that were EU funded, and they effectively continued to operate as long as they were funded. They never managed to commercialize their operations. And what is also interesting that currently we have 3 such organizations, and none of them grew on the back of EU funded initiatives. What is quite interesting, it turns out that that there were people who were more commercially minded and managed to turn it into a proper business to the benefit of business angels. So that's I think that's one interesting observation. The other one is what can we do better? I think find right incentives to ensure that business angels are not investors of the last resort. Okay. So when we try to provide these incentives, I think it will be hard to compete with regular VC funds who can operate internationally.
But you mean, Piotr, also tax incentives, like
whatever incentives, whatever instruments, we have to ensure that that these are the right instruments, so that business angels do not end up doing the worst deals. I think that's really tricky. So my view would be, because first of all, when you look at it, first of all, VC funds, regular VC funds, have much deeper and broader deal flow. On average, VC fund sees between 1,000 and 2,000 transactions per year. The question is whether, when we try to design an instrument, will this organization have access to such a broad deal flow to ensure that that there is a proper selection process? So I think that's the key concern. That's the key concern to me: how to design the instrument to ensure
incentivize,
to provide proper incentives for the business angels who have the role to play. There is no doubt about it.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, there's many things in that discussion, actually. I think first, maybe just a remark, but historically, I mean, we know that it's very tough for angel groups to actually, find a business model. It's not a business model. Most of the angel groups are local players that support economic development, providing a matchmaking platform. It's extremely resource intensive, and it is not, and that's why it's so also challenging. It's because there's no really, you can't charge the investors too much. You can't charge the companies too much. So I think it's more like
all the problem,
right? To run an angel group, because you need to mobilize people, and you need, you need to do it in order to fund the innovative companies. But I think what could we do to have more cross-border, collaboration? I think we've tried a number of things that are already, I would say, sparks in the right direction. Also with the ESIL, obviously, with Business Angels Europe, we organize the e-pitches where we have the opportunity to provide a platform to companies that have already received local investment to pitch to other investors for future funding, including in the context of internationalization. I think that's one good effort. it will work better if we can actually create long-lasting connections between the angels Europe-wide. And I think the fact that we see this emergence of sector-specific groups, whether it's in insurance or deep tech or defense or whatever, is going to facilitate this connection. And plus with technology, you know, it's now, I would say we have much more means and cheaper means to put these people together, to share knowledge, to make sure that actually if you receive a deal, it's not because, you know, you're the last resort, but because you are actually, you know, receiving this from a qualified source, because you are considered as somebody that's actually adding value to the deal. Yeah. And that's thanks to knowledge. And I think the other thing is obviously track record. I mean, as investors, you also need to show that you have some track record, or as angel organizations or as funds. I think funds, you know, obviously in most contexts have deeper pockets, but they actually need the angels because the angels have a deeper reach into the ecosystem because they are much more numerous. So you can't have that many funds, and a problem that we have in Belgium right now is that you have very large funds, you know, 50 to 100 million, because, you know, that's actually, it makes economic sense. Building a 20 to 30 million euro fund doesn't make much economic sense, but actually you can't deploy it in Belgium, right? So you're deploying it elsewhere. And so local companies are actually not benefiting from the money that's available. So I think there's a number of things that we could fix. And that's why I think this ambition of having a pan-European fund is interesting, because also it would help to structure the angel group movement that has been, you know, growing for over 20 years and professionalizing. And it will help because actually these funds will have the means to actually carry out due diligence, to simplify transactions, to structure maybe expert groups around deals. And so I think it will actually, you know, reinforce the capacity of angels to be around the best deals, to really add value in the deals, and to make sure that we have also enough money and enough connections to roll out.
On this, I can also share, because you are also you know, running this BAE club as well, because we have under the BAE umbrella, we have a BAE club, which is basically the most active angel clubs in Europe. And we spot also that, you know, the tendency for the co-investment cross-border is rather about the sector. So whether they are life science or they are more eager to co-invest clubs to clubs in Europe. But yes. Any other thoughts, Milan, on the cross-border?
Yeah, I can confirm that there is actually an issue that we try to solve. It's that the business models of the current angel groups, where most of the angels in Europe are organized, they're already there, not aligned with this, I mean, cross-border thing. So finding out an incentive for the angel groups to promote this and push it heavily is actually part of the solution, along with probably a European fund that will also provide a capital that will enhance that. I mean, I don't know if that has to be done externally, but because we're talking about that and not leaving the market to solve it, I think it's an area where programs like ESIL or other instruments should be focused on. So angel groups, angel networks, we've organized most of the people that want to be angels or on the path of doing so. And we know how to activate them. We just have to be incentivized to do this so we can make it work until the moment where people realize that actually it's much better to have a European pipeline, not like only a local one, and that is qualified enough. Maybe part of the solution is the verticalization, because this is a way to make it efficient. If you have a health tech vertical across Europe, it's very easy to identify the good deals and just go across the angels, organizing angel networks to invest in them.
Thank you so much. We had a deal. I remember. So now the floor is yours with the questions. I'm open. I have 4 minutes for the questions and a short wrap up.
About the challenges for cross-cultural or cross-border selecting the entrepreneurs because of the difference in culture background, which is really challenging. So do you think assessment like the soft skills assessment to learn more about the founder dynamic or team dynamic is helpful? This is a question. And to clear, what are the challenges for pan-European, let's say, collaboration from your perspective? That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to teach this. I think people have to get comfortable with operating in international environment, and obviously who is most comfortable right now. Typically these are entrepreneurs who founded their own businesses, who had to fundraise internationally, who were successful in doing so, sold their business, and now they can talk to their colleagues or the younger colleagues, founders, whether they come from Poland or they come from other countries. More or less, they understand what they're up to, and that's why this kind of business angels just feels comfortable doing this. And so I think literally you have to grow up to this role.
Yeah. As simple as that.
I don't know if it's the answer that you expect, but I think one of the challenges for pan-European collaboration between angels or angel groups is, fundamentally angels, it's not their job to invest, right? They have other things to do. It's a nice thing that they like to do. They're increasingly professional, but they have other things. It's increasingly true as we recruit younger and younger angels, or that we build more syndicates, and that people have less and less probably time available to dedicate because they haven't cashed out yet, they haven't quit their job, so they don't have time to structure relationships with other. Of course they'd like to invest internationally, but they don't have time nor the money, actually, when you're compared to the amount that they're going to invest in a deal, to invest in pan-European collaboration in a structured way. So then you have the angel groups that should be doing that, but most of them, they are, small organizations. They don't have the capacity to do that. So then we rely on, Business Angels Europe or projects like ESIL to really, I would say, stabilize these collaborations. And that's why it's so important, because if you look at the ecosystem, this is quote unquote an informal market. It's not a VC market where people are paid to do their job. This is people who are actually doing this on top of something else. And so I think we definitely need help to structure a pan-European collaboration because of the nature of angel investing.
One more question.
It's my understanding that in the US, where you have more of a single market, coast to coast, single language, single legal system, more homogeneous culture, even there, business angels tend, by and large, to invest locally because they want the proximity. They want to be able to drive down to the company, chat over dinner, lunch with the entrepreneurs. So, in Europe, where it's been pointed out, there are multiple barriers. How do you envisage this working? It's a bit puzzling to me. I would love to be able to invest across borders. I see the logic of more opportunities, better matches, but it seems like in an environment that's more favorable to it, it by and large doesn't seem to happen.
Very good question. Very good question. Want to take a lead?
Well, I think, it's in the nature of angels, as you say, whether it's in Europe or the US, there will always be mostly local investors. But I think what we're talking about is providing the leverage when they need it to accelerate the companies, to make sure that we keep innovation, for example, in Europe, is to make sure that we have enough resources, whether, it's financial, through a fund or whatever, that can help those companies scale. I think, when you're an angel, you're an actor in the seed round most of the time. You want to be close to the company. You want to join the board. But if you're raising, a next round and then a Series A or a Series B, and you really need bigger funding, then it's a different role. And I think most of our angels, they're happy to participate in seed, and later on they're very happy when somebody else takes the lead. So I don't think this is incompatible. I think we're talking about leveraging the first seeds that are planted by the entrepreneurs and supported by the angels, and just helping them to take their companies in which they've invested, faster to the European market.
Yeah. Luigi, you wanted to comment, one comment, and we make a wrap up.
Thank you, Jacek. Just maybe one comment on first on the US model, because I think it's important to answer that. if you look at, it's true what you say in general, but if you look at the statistics of an average angel group in the US, 30 to 40% of the investments are outside of their own state. So they're doing much more cross-state investment than we are. And also, if you look at how they are organized, there is an angel syndicate network that meets every month, and they share deals and actually co-invest with each other in order to help those deals to grow across the whole of the US. So I think there is a big difference between how US angels invest and European angel invest, acknowledging that, of course, angel groups are local and they tend to have majority of their investment locally. And yeah, then my other comment was, I think it was touched by Christian and also Sarah. I think that, here what we are trying to address is the fundamental problem of fragmentation. And if you're familiar with the latest report from Atomico that just came out a few days ago, the number one problem that was highlighted is what they called fix the friction. Yeah. And I think it is well put. And of course, we heard also a lot about saying, yes, but what's in it for me as the Walloon region or as Poland or as France or Bulgaria, and the same for angels. Why should I have, why should I invest outside when I want to be local and so on? And I think that the answer to this is, well, first of all, I'm an engineer, so I won't touch economics, but on a macroeconomic level, if we make Europe grow, I think that all of us are growing. So I think there is an interest to keep the best companies, within Europe. And so if we think at what, we can gain from each region or each country, is a little bit like I scratch your back, you scratch my back. So, there will be a time in which the company invested by Wallon Entrepreneur and BAE Angels will be supported by Upper Angels and PFR Ventures to grow in Poland. And there will be, the vice versa when a Polish company will be supported to grow in Belgium. So I think that would be, like the fundamental reason why you should be doing this, to have more companies, as they say, choose Europe.
Yes. Thank you, Luigi. Thank you to my panelists. Thank you for the questions. Just a short up, the session was designed also to answer the fundamental question, why we need angel co-investment fund on a pan-European level. So I hope we explained this and we clearly see the needs with some, of course, as Piotr highlighted, the more careful designing of this, why we need and how this instrument should be designed. Topping up with the incentives plan and also national instruments that then they can cooperate and reinforce each other. So I would say, Jan, you have a great material for the afternoon session. We have answer why, and now you have easy task to challenge the how. So with this, thank you so much to my panelists and wish you a great day.